Hi friends, I'm Hardy with NinjaEveryday, and I'm here at the Dayton Quest Center with Anshu Stephen K. Hayes. And this is what I envision to be the first in a series of videos that I'm going to call the Master of To-Shin Do series. And of course, I've got the ultimate master and creator, the founder of our martial art, To-Shin Do, and really grateful for you taking some time to speak with us today. I wanted to ask you a few questions about your vision for To-Shin Do, some of your martial arts history, and where you think this is all going to go in the future. So I don't know if you could give us like a short summary of how you got involved in martial arts in general, and then specifically how it transitioned into To-Shin Do.
Well, as a child in the 1950s, there was no martial arts training, and like I lived in Wilmington, Delaware. There are a few guys training in judo on the West Coast, maybe, but I saw on television these various TV shows that involved martial arts, and of course they were dramas, and they had a dramatic flair, and it just really captured me. The juxtaposition of being able to fight with an intelligent, otherworldly way, but also there were aspects of healing and self-development in this, and to a 6-year-old kid in Wilmington, Delaware, this was fascinating. I needed to learn this, and I was aware of kids being bullied, victimized. I didn't know how to fight. I didn't know how to step in and do anything about it. They didn't bully me, but I would see other kids bullied, and I made up my mind, even at that young age. No, I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna be a protector. I'm gonna be a hero.
Now, did you find all of that in your martial arts practice as you first started?
Well, it's been a long haul. I'm 70 years old now, and I started when I was 18.
Okay.
So little by little, I found that, and I think that's exciting. It's a lifelong quest, and I still consider myself a student. I'm still learning. I have to learn. Culture changes, the laws change, what other martial arts are out there, how people victimize each other keeps changing. So, that's my impetus for needing to keep questioning and revising and changing, even at 70 years old.
What's your recollection of an obstacle or a low point in your martial arts career training, and then how did you overcome that?
Maybe a little offensive to certain people out there, and I don't mean it to be offensive, but my very first martial art, Tang Soo Do, I studied that for several years, and I loved it. Oh man, it was like deliverance. I was learning the martial arts, and I studied that for years, and I was a believer. And but there came a time when I started to really look at what happens on the streets in the 1970s, what happens in the fields, in battle. I met people who'd been in real life or death situations, and nothing that I was learning really related to those things. And so I went through I was like a 3rd-degree black belt, and so I went through a real dark night of the soul. I've got so much invested in this. Do I move on? Does that make me a disloyal person? Does this make me a bad person? Does this make me a dabbler? Very difficult making that decision, but I took a breath and knew, no, I need to study this ninja martial art. I need to do that, and that was my deliverance. A very difficult decision to make, but I had to make that decision.
On the flip side, are there any particular points in your martial arts career that you identify as, very proud, very special, like high points for you?
I think being inducted into the Black Belt Hall of Fame in 1985, that was a real high point. I was this guy who'd studied ninjutsu for a couple of years in Japan. I was going back and forth with my wife. We were training, but it was an odd martial art. It was very weird. I was the only guy who had been trained in this martial art. That year, it was a statement. No, I had made a significant contribution to the martial arts. And then a couple of years ago, I got the Maya Lifetime Achievement Award. And I'm a lousy customer of Century and Maya, but they chose to honor me. And again, that was like 20 years later after the Black Belt Hall of Fame. And it was very meaningful, that my peers, my friends, people who didn't even know me in the martial arts would say, no, he made a significant contribution. He's the guy we're going to salute this year. It was very touching to me.
Can you tell us a little bit about some of the influential figures in your martial arts journey, some of the instructors and teachers, maybe even some of the students that left a mark on you as you came up?
Well, I can't not talk about Masaaki Hatsumi. When I got to Japan, I was involved in a high-tension striking martial art, and I appreciate my Tang Sudo teachers. They were a valuable stepping stone in my life. So Masaaki Hatsumi, so radically different. He's so opposite of me. The way he lives and the way he conducts his business. And ironically, that was a great teacher for me.
Yes, sir.
If it had been somebody like me, we would have. In fact, I did have a ninjutsu teacher, one of Hatsumi Sensei's students, who's a lot like me.
Okay.
Oh gosh, head button all the time. So he was definitely an influence. How he got me to go from a tension, quick twitch martial art into something I could live for my whole life. Another great influence, I'm not an Aikido person, but I really appreciate the stories of Morihei Ueshiba, founder of Aikido. This guy just seems like, bigger than life. He had been in China, almost executed. He was a strong guy, had a spiritual experience in his 50s and totally changed his whole approach to martial arts. I'm really fascinated by all those stories about Morihei Ueshiba. So those are some of the teachers that influenced me. Some of my own students, we have a board of Shihan. All of those guys really impress me because, Mark Russo and Dennis Mahoney and James Norris, they really don't need me. They could easily go out on their own and run their own thing and be very impressive. But they have seen fit to stick around. I even ask them. I play the devil's advocate. I say, why are you still here? Not done getting everything from you yet. And but they have their own way of thinking. They have their own way of moving, and it's very impressive to me. To be honest, you're a good influence on me as well. Yeah,
It means a lot.
Yeah. I mean, you are out there. You're testing this out. You're trying it out. You're very honest. If something's not working, or you want to explore this, you go and do it, and you come back, and you keep coming back.
Thank you very much. You keep delivering, sir.